Hello everyone, welcome to Vedic Astro, and today I'm going to be talking about career and all about it. So let's get down to business without wasting much time. So in this chart, I have considered the ascendant to be in the Leo sign, and I have chosen this as an example for my narration. And we have the 10th house in the Taurus sign for Leo ascendants, which is ruled by Venus. So look at your ascendant and count 10 houses from the ascendant to arrive at the sign where the 10th house is, and look at the Lord of the 10th house. The 10th house and its Lord, as per Vedic astrology, in one's birth chart signifies career. The placement of planets in the 10th house, planets aspecting the 10th from different houses, the type of planet, whether it is functionally malefic or functionally benefic, in this house, and the degree and strength of the planets in the 10th can all give clear indications of one's career. So as far as career is concerned, as it is with life, the career life can also be garnered from the dasha that the person is going through, and also the antardasha. They're both key to knowing when the next good or bad phase will occur in a person's life. Now, what do we do when there's an empty 10th house? And also, let's say there are no aspects by any planets on the 10th house. Now, I know some of you may say, hey, let's start with the 10th Lord. Okay, I can agree with that. But that's not always going to clue you in on the work that you do for a living. 10th Lord going into some house usually only shows that you have to put in more work in that area of life, and not necessarily something that indicates your livelihood. When 10th Lord goes into the second house, you're going to put a lot of work in keeping your family together. So 10th Lord is not really indicating the career, but rather the work that you do in that area of life where you are more worked up, where you're going to spend a lot of time working on the dynamics of that area in your life. Now, when I want to see what kind of career that one is going to have, I'll have to tell you that back in the earlier days, career was limited to a very few professions. Farming, poultry, agriculture, hunting, these were like the main professions since inception of mankind, right? Later, we started having professions like medicine, teachers, administrators. So we could include government jobs, which came much later, right? Then we had engineers, traders, who would trade goods and services. We had defense, who would offer protection from enemy incursions. However, in today's age, we are seeing a multitude of professions. We are seeing crossovers in professions. Someone in the field of hydroengineering and management may have some planet in the 10th house of Scorpio, and 10th house in Scorpio would mean you are an Aquarius ascendant, right? Or the person may have Mars or Ketu in the 10th house, because Mars and Ketu, both of them co-rule the Scorpio zodiac, which is a water sign, and also 8th in the natural zodiac order, right, which indicates transformation. Now, I had predicted the career of this person very correctly, but there is so much more to career in today's age. It's almost impractical and impossible to predict the exact kind of career one might have. It's never going to be that simple, but I am going to clue you in on the many different kind of careers that you can predict using some of the techniques that I'm going to talk about in this video. Before that, let me tell you that in my opinion, there are many paths to attaining a career, because it's the most fundamental survival element in the story of one's life. And therefore, God never intended career to be seen from only one house. And thankfully for that, we don't have to worry if career is not easily known to us by looking at the 10th house. I don't know how this works in palmistry, but in astrology, there's more than one way of assessing one's career life. And although we have a dedicated house, you could still have other houses which indicate career options, like fifth house for creative work, media, entertainment. Fourth could indicate real estate. Third could indicate jobs in a communication field or journalism or anything that has to do with writing. Ninth could indicate temple service, working in a church or a religious institute, right? And if that planet in that house is dominant enough, then you could be seeing career related to that house. So don't be daunted that you may never work or get to work or be successful, even if you have, let's say, Ketu in the 10th house or some malefic, wreaking havoc or causing too many obstacles. All I can say is perform the remedy pertaining to that planet in the 10th house if you're facing long breaks from work. Now, about career, K.N. Rao in one of his books mentions about a distinguished civil servant and goes on to say that the so-called distinguished officers in the civil service are not really distinguished in an astrological sense. Only they happen to have run into a favorable Mahadasha at a favorable time, which is most opportune in terms of professional status and career betterment. It's time and also the favorable Mahadasha that push them towards a distinguished career. So these are the two things that I would first see in a person's chart before arriving at his career. The third thing that I would see for a long and successful career is that there must exist some Raj Yogas. So pay attention to the Raj Yogas in your chart. I have seen many charts who have an empty 10th house with no aspect but are doing extremely well in their career. One example is where the person is working as a high-ranking official in the Air Force because of Dharma Karmadipati Yoga. And he is now completing his service in the armed forces after a distinguished career. So pay attention to the Raj Yogas in a person's chart. The next thing I would see is the 6th house of service, the 6th house of routines. And if you have planets in the 6th, you can definitely be assured of a long career in your life, because 6th house is an Upachya house. So Upachya houses help you to grow over time and in positive ways. There's going to be fame, success, and fortune in your career. So you could expect promotions rising up in the ladder as time passes by if you have planets in the 6th house. Okay, the next one that I would see is the 7th house. Wow, such an important house for career. And most often than not, this house is overlooked by most people. And you know what? It shouldn't be. Why? Because the 7th house is the 10th house from the 10th house. That is, it is 10 places away from the 10th house. That is the Bhavat Bhavam of the 10th house. So whether you're going to make it well in your career or if it's going to fizzle out can all be seen from the 7th house. Even if you have malefics in this place, you're going to do well in your career. Of course, in terms of marriage, placement of a planet in the 7th or even in the 1st is always suck for most people, no matter which planet. Even planets like Venus have the issue of Karako Bhavanasha, which means it destroys that house. Mars gives you Mangal Dosh in the 7th. Saturn gives delays and strain in the married life. Moon gives you a somewhat moody spouse. Mercury, a very intelligent planet, but it could give you a spouse who intends to get the best out of you for their own selfish gains. You could be associated with mean people and a mean spouse with Mercury in the 7th. But all of this is great for career. The only exception being Ketu in the 7th, who not only could potentially cause rifts in marriage, but also in career. But despite all this, if you have a Raja Yoga, as I mentioned earlier in this video, trust me, that might well be enough to catapult you to success in your career, even though it's Ketu in the 7th or Rahu or Shani in the 7th. Okay, Jupiter is slightly better, but there are many cynics out there who would tell you that Jupiter in the 7th is bad. Not really true, but if you have Jupiter as the 6th lord or 8th lord or the 12th lord from your ascendant sitting in the 7th, then there's going to be problems in your married life, but mostly those that can be resolved. But when you look at it from the perspective of career, 6th lord becomes the 9th lord from the 10th house. 8th lord becomes the 11th lord from the 10th house. And 12th lord becomes the 3rd from the 10th, showing massive efforts in your career. So if you have, let's say, 6th lord in the 7th, though you may face challenges in your married life, you're going to see fortune and luck and favors in your career. Why? Because 6th house is 9th from the 10th. It's the 9th from the 10th, which indicates extremely good things: name, fame, success, prosperity, fortune, right? Both financially and also in terms of the respect that you get from society. The other reasons why planets in the 7th suck for marriage is that the planet in the 7th would focus more on other people and career rather than the marriage itself. So what we are looking at is probably not so great for marriage, but a fantastic place for your career, right? But the point is, most planets in the 7th don't do well for marriage. I'm sorry, guys, but that's how it is. But if you have Ketu in the 7th, then your marriage as well as your career might undergo a lot of struggle because you're no more interested in growing in your work and dealing with other people, including your spouse, or your spouse shows less interest, is mostly detached in nature. You like being isolated, being introverted. Definitely you need to remedy Ketu as soon as possible when it is in the 7th house. Now, let's look at the benefits from the perspective of career when planets are placed in the 7th. Now, look at the planet in the 7th house or the planet aspecting the 7th house. Let's say you have Mars in the 7th. You get directional strength in your career. You would do extremely well in your job. Saturn would make you very hardworking. There could be delays, but eventual success. And Mercury will give you excellent skills. It will make you very quick at decisions. And also help you be extremely shrewd. So you could be a shrewd businessman. Almost all favorable in elevating your career. Venus gives you good position, good rank in the society. Good rank in the hierarchy at work. You enjoy the perks that come with the job. Of course, same goes for Moon. You enjoy a big office, good conveyances, and all the luxuries and comfort the job has to offer. But there is the element of ups and downs in your career if you have Moon in that place. Sun gives you an authoritative position, being the boss. Anything from being excellent in management to a great leader, someone who inspires people to follow in, can be seen from Sun in the 7th house. Okay, let's talk about lordships. If you have your ascendant in the 7th, you would have luxuries and comforts in your career. If you have 2nd lord in the 7th, you will be one of the most loved employees in your workplace. You would shine and prosper in your career. 3rd lord in the 7th would mean obstacles and challenges in your career. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But also do well over time because it is an Upachya house. If you have 4th lord in the 7th, you would be practically married to your career. Now, if you have 5th lord in the 7th, naturally, this is good for marriage. Okay? I think this is one of the exceptions. But not so good for career. As you could see, some constant shifts moving to different jobs because it is the 8th from the 10th. 6th Lord in the 7th, great for career. And being in a Pacha house, it's going to give you promotions or financial upgradation in every 4 or 5 years. Okay? And 7th Lord in the 7th would naturally protect your job in every possible way. So you're seeing a long and successful career if this is the case. 8th Lord in the 7th house is also good for career. You're going to see great gains in terms of money and also in the expansion of your network circle at your job. 9th Lord in the 7th could give you some losses in your job or much spending to stay afloat. And if you're into business, this could give you a lot of ups and downs. But the good thing is that it will give you foreign contacts, foreign connections, business from foreign people. You could even end up working in a foreign country. And 10th Lord in the 7th would mean new beginnings and a great head start in your career. Okay? 11th Lord from the birth chart in the 7th house gives you wealth and a powerful Raj Yoga, which is going to give you a sense of meaning to your job, a sense of belonging in your career life. It will also give you a lot of wealth. 12th Lord in the 7th. 12th in the 7th gives you prosperity, but also makes you extremely hardworking, and you would have to put massive efforts to gain something in your career. Almost like you're self-made to the point that no one favors you and you're independent in your career. But as time passes by, it will give you success like no other, and also a lot of wealth and social connections in your career. Okay, good enough. Now, the question arises, should I be employed in a job and work under someone, or should I do business and be my own boss? To this, I would say, look at the strength of the planet in the 7th house, and also the strength of the 7th house itself, which is the Bhav Bala. If you have a strong 7th house compared to the 6th house, you would be well off doing business, because business requires you to constantly take decisions that's both beneficial to the profits of your company and also the long-term sustainability which comes with customer satisfaction. So it's more of a balancing act, sometimes letting go of profits and sometimes focusing only on the profit and not the customer. So only a strong 7th house can help you deal with this, help you make the right decisions. Of course, all from the perspective of career. Now, this video is a 2-part series. I thought I'd make it into 2 parts, which would make it easier for everyone to assimilate. And also due to the fact that the knowledge presented here can be a bit of an overkill if I posted the whole thing in one single video. The second video I'm planning to make is slightly larger, but it's going to contain a lot of information, and I'm going to try my best to tell you the kind of career that you might have. And I'm going to think about a bunch of careers, a whole lot of careers that you might have. And so please watch the second part of the video, which is actually the juicy part of all about career, which gives you some really good details about the kind of career that you might have. And also to those who want to know the vocation or the side gig that they may have apart from their main job. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe for more such content. And don't forget to share this with your friends. And I will see you guys in part 2 of this video. Thank you very much.